What's up, beautiful, crazy people of the world? Another edition of Geektastic Cypher here on Free X Agents Media. You guys watching us live. You're also listening to us live. You're possibly listening to us on Mixler. So shout outs to the Mixler listeners. We got a dope guest today. Do we want to do the honors of allowing him to introduce himself?
Sure.
Young Yanni. I was trying to think. What's the Hove version that fits with your name?
I don't know if there is one.
No, Young Yanni works. Young Yanni works. I'm with that.
Oh God.
Yeah, but because we come from a generation where that name might not be as favorable. But I feel like you would add some respect to it because old boy doesn't really do anything with it anymore. So
Thank you.
We're taking it back.
Okay. Well, Young Yanni, aka Yannick. So I'm the owner of Treats and Treats. It's an edible company that was some ways founded in Montreal as a non-edible company, and then when we migrated to Vancouver, became edible and infused.
Bong bong.
And yeah, we're based out of Vancouver. We have bake operations in Vancouver and Toronto. We service all of Canada, and I'll probably reveal some more news at some point throughout this podcast that me and Toby spoke about a bit.
Oh, dope.
But yeah, we're here to provide some good stuff to all of Canada in a bilingual fashion. Shout out to Sylvia, who Brian, who helped with the labels in French. A lot of stuff. And yeah, we're just here to provide some good stuff, and we have a promo code, which I believe Toby has.
I do. The promo code is GCFAM. If you go to treatsandtreats.com, use promo code GCFAM to get 20% off. 20% off of some delectable, delicious. Honestly, these things are dangerous, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I love it. I've been a fan actually before I even knew that this company was ran by Yannick. I actually was ordering. I found you on Instagram somehow through someone I forget, and I was been ordering.
Because Yannick was on the show 2 years ago? Yeah, about 2 years ago.
It's got to be like 3 or 4 now. COVID is messing up with our time.
Has it?
Definitely top of 2019.
So there was I wasn't there then.
No, you weren't on that one.
Okay, I see.
Hold on.
Yeah.
No, it's been a while. At least 20.
Yeah,
I've only been at this spot for a year, and then we did the podcast.
I was at your old spot.
Yeah.
The old spot.
So, yeah, okay, you're right. It's probably 3 years or 2.5 because it definitely. You're right. You weren't there the last year that we were doing it at the old spot. So that's fair. That's crazy. But yes, you came through. We talked about it then. We're talking about it now. It's dope.
That's crazy. It actually surprised me that it was someone I knew that was running. It's such. Honestly, I was recommending it to friends because I was like, hey, this is like one of the most level. Obviously, with any treats, guys, any edibles or anything like that, don't overdo. I usually start with a quarter, but it's one of the most level highs I've had in edibles.
The funny thing is, I thought you were buying because you had seen it from the podcast. The fact that you randomly makes the story even funnier.
That's hilarious.
That's even crazy.
Yeah.
So word spreading then. Word is spreading. Good.
Yes, it is. There you go. I am putting it up on the screen right now for those who are watching. That's treatsandtreats.com, promo code GCFAM.
Bong.
And just in case you guys don't know, And in the next 30 minutes, we start sounding like we are making no sense and we're giggling out of our minds. It's because some of us, and I'm not going to say who, that'll be up to you guys to figure out. But some of us have taken a quarter before the show.
I was gonna say Skinny's face. I was just like, so you mean as like a regular show where we laugh right?
That's Skinny.
Every episode is us being mad ridiculous.
It's completely different when you're doing an edible versus if you are smoking or what's the other one, vaping or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll see if it's just like any show. Skinny.
I'll let the pros discuss. As you all know, I'm not partaking. I'm going to be the sober one. As I often was when I was in the suburbs, I was the designated driver. So I'll be the designated producer today on the show. And these guys will possibly be doing all kinds of silliness, or if anything, just doing the usual show, because we tend to just steam. I've had people ask me if we are high when we do the show in the past. Yeah, because they're just like, you guys go on pretty hard laughing rants for stuff
that's just us normally.
Yeah.
I just being entertaining, folks.
Yeah, I've never tried weed, and if we say something ridiculous, I'm gonna laugh. That's just the show.
I gotta say, and I'm slightly ashamed, but I've been sleeping on this podcast because to catch up for this week, I out of respect, I went back and I watched last week, and I gotta say, trying to find content to keep me busy, I don't know how I forgot to come back to you guys, because watching that episode, you guys actually had me sincerely laughing. You turning down some pom pom because you ain't gonna smoke nothing. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. 7th grade high school.
All respect to you. All respect to you. But that's, I don't know, man.
7th grade Brian had one of the hottest girls in the school, and she full on told him, so you don't smoke? And I was like, no. She's just like, well, you're gonna smoke with me, right? And I was like, nope. And she's just like, and she's just like, but I'm your girlfriend. Why wouldn't you smoke with me? And I was just like, because I don't want to smoke. What does that have to do with anything? You're hot. I'm good looking. Why do we have to smoke to enjoy that? And she was just like, well, if you're not going to smoke, I don't know if I can keep hanging out with you. And I was just like, oh, okay.
You know what's crazy?
Both of you. I respect both. But I think one of y'all should have caved.
I'm going to say, I would like to say that if I was in that same situation, I would make the same decision as you, Doc, which is not to cave because my parents and the church, right? Because that you grew up in that situation. But the only reason, if this was grade 9, 10, I would have caved.
I would have, to be honest, I would have caved in like 2 fucking seconds. I was not the most popular kid in school, and you're telling me that the hottest girl in school comes up to me and says,
it's the grade 7.
My answer's like, yeah.
It's the grade 7 that threw me off because I'm like, man, I'm just fresh out of grade 6. I don't even think 13. Yeah. I don't even think I was thinking girls like that much. 6, 7, 8. Okay. You know what I mean?
I got caught. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
So I should have put myself in the same context, because in grade 7 I was at a point where I was saying I'm against premarital sex, drugs. Thinking now what I would have done. I'm thinking now what I actually would have done in that context. But thinking now there's no way I'm not smoking. I'm just saying.
So
the thing is, you can't go back in time with your 30-year-old knowledge.
Yeah. For me, it came down to the fact that I guess even that, because in grade 6, I had already had a girlfriend and was like,
dude, you were a horn dog, bro.
Yeah, like I was like, when I was in grade,
satisfied.
Yeah, like I'm not trying,
the curiosity wasn't there as much.
So,
he's like, what you mean? I got more where you came from. That's what he said.
I'm not saying that. But I'll explain it this way. I was 12 the first time I snuck a girl to my place.
This nigga. Wow. Damn. All right.
And so
looking at approval. Look at this nigga.
That's deep.
I ain't gonna incriminate myself with my upbringing. But I fully get you.
Yeah, I don't even think my parents would be mad if they knew who it was, because they genuinely liked this girl. Her and I were friends. She was my girlfriend when I was in grade 5. She was my girlfriend when I was in grade 6. And then
can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Wait, no, I can't answer the question. I think I know what you're going to ask.
What? Are you sure you know
go ahead. Go ahead. Ask the
You want to
question.
put it in a private chat first?
No. I know what the. Go ahead. I don't mind.
What does it mean having a girlfriend in grade 5?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I knew that was
Depends
the
who you're
question.
asking.
Hold on, I can tell you what it is. I can tell you what that is. All right, because
Are you holding hands and then
You're holding hands. You're going to the dance.
Y'all are holding hands.
You're dancing close to the waist. Stop it! I don't know what you're doing in grade 5.
Okay, I'll say this.
standard.
I got caught by Mr. Bundy, the school janitor, making out with my girlfriend.
Ted Bundy? Yeah,
Making out with my girlfriend in the stairwell.
At what age?
At what grade?
In grade 6.
Nigga, what are you making out? How?
Why do you
know what that is?
Okay, what were you watching at grade
Right.
5 and
Let's
6?
go.
Lames.
Guys, it wasn't TV. It wasn't anime or TV shows. It's just that this girl was gorgeous by 12-year-old standards.
That's crazy. And
And-
it's funny to think. I'm like, did I even think a girl was gorgeous? Or you know what I mean? Like Dave, am I the only one that's feeling like?
Nah,
I'm pretty sure you knew that girls were cute at minimum.
But were you
and
like?
To answer your question, Brian was watching definitely Blue Nuit at that time, but
Sorry.
Yeah, but we all watched Bleu Nuit at that time.
I'll be right back.
If you're from Quebec, you watched Bleu Nuit when you were in 12 or 13.
I mean,
exactly.
to side with Brian, I kind of understand because at grade 6, I had I'm not gonna say your girl was fast, but I had a fast girl in grade 6 who had an older sister, so she was all about hiding behind some tree in Surrey Park and tongue kissing.
But that's
I was
the thing.
Whoa,
like, all right.
damn.
My
Yeah.
girl.
Well, I don't know if I went to the wrong or the right schools now. I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't think it was a matter of like my girl was fast. I think what it was is she. Oh, I can't see.
What do we have here? Night
Night,
Bleu Nuit. Oh no, you didn't.
Oh.
There you go.
Once again, folks, that's
20%
20% off.
for the win.
20% off.
Go to
shout out to
treatsandtreats.com. Promo code GCFAM for 20% off and get yourself some of that Bleu Nuit.
That's
You know what I'm
hilarious.
saying? This lets you know that it's straight out of Quebec, right?
That makes me almost want to try it for the first time. It's just like the first weed I ever tried with Bleu Nuit would be a pretty dope line. But okay, it wasn't that she was fast. Her and I were just the way it worked for me. Grade 5 was the first time I went to this school that I was at, and I had gone to a French school. I ended up in an English school. I didn't really know anybody. No, it was an English school. We were all English school.
All right.
Oh, I know what was working for you, but I'll let you finish.
Well, that's it. I was just a new guy.
Yes,
That
there
was-
you
that
go.
was my angle.
That's it right
100%.
there.
I know. I came into the school. I was the new guy. There was my buddy, my buddy Corey was the new guy. We both showed up to the school. He came from St. Kevin. I came from Bedford. We both showed up to the school at the same time. There's a whole bunch of us, and the girls that were originally at that school went crazy for the new guys. Like,
Yep.
my buddy
Always the case.
Jason got a girlfriend right away. My buddy Corey got a girlfriend right away. This guy got a girlfriend. All of the new guys ended up getting all the girls. All the old guys from the school hated us. We kept getting into fights with them and stuff, but we pieced it up by the end, and we ended up going to the same high school, and it was done. But all that time, I guess I don't know if these guys had been pressuring these girls, but by the time we got there, these girls were just like, "I'll kiss you," and it was
They weren't pressuring them. The girls were bored of what they had
I
already.
guess so.
Once
'Cause-
the new thing, trust me, I've been the new guy a couple times.
right.
Yeah, you
So
have.
before I even knew what the effect was, it was happening.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the weirdest thing. It's pretty strange, actually.
So that's
New
all.
guy, new girl effect. It's
Yeah.
equal both
when,
sides.
when you're the new person in the school, if you are able to, and you know how all these movies always do it, like, oh, you can reinvent yourself or blah blah blah,
That's
or you
it.
can just be yourself. I got to that school and I was just this random black kid who spoke purely French, and it was just like, oh, salut les filles, and there's just like, oh,
That's
hello.
pretty funny. I came from let's see, what's the most I can relate to from what's that? Wow, how do I forget the French school? I think the edibles are kicking in, guys. Lavoie, from Lavoie to Lakeside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yannick
Oh, you
came
got
from
grade
Yannick was a new guy.
grade 9 to grade 10. Yeah, I came in
Yeah.
around grade 10. Yeah.
Yannick
same
was a
time.
new guy, and I was definitely showing him
Yeah.
around high school until people told him to stop hanging out with me. That's for sure happened.
Wait, what?
Niggas were like that in
Wow,
high
is
school.
this something we have to get into?
Oh, we can.
Why not?
No, I'm kidding.
Why not? So I got to Lakeside in 2001. The towers
Jay-grizz.
had dropped. It was 2001. I was trying to get into school because I graduated from Riverside, but I was young enough that I could still get my grades better instead of having to do like prep work which is like CJEP. So my dad was like, all right, Yannick, so you're going to Lakeside. So I get there, and I'm like, what is this reject land of people? Like, I'm losing my mind at this point. No, straight up. I'm losing my mind because it's not LaSalle no more. I'm in Lachine.
It's different.
West Island.
Came from Côte des Neiges, bro. It was different.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So the people I saw, like the black people I saw, the few that I knew came in from LaSalle. So I was like, okay, so I get them. So I know them. So I know what's going on. But then there weren't very many. So I was like a blank canvas as to where I go. But then the funny thing is the year before, Grizz had went to Lachine for the last year. So he brought all of our wrestling tapes because we used to film ourselves wrestling like a bunch of idiots in our old friend's basement. Yep. So they knew about us. So when I got to Lakeside, they saw me and were like, there's Jericho. I'm like, so they know about me before I even know what the hell I'm supposed to be.
That's amazing. So
it was a clique of Dave, our friend Dave, Akeel, Maurice, and Dom. Yep. So
Maurice, I've heard that even a while.
First, because I knew Maurice from church. We went to the same church in the street. So I was like, all right, I'll hang out with Maurice. Okay. And then Maurice's friend was Akeel. So that it was me, Maurice, and Akeel for my first week of high school at Lakeside. And then Dave comes up to me, he's like, listen, I gotta save you. I've seen you before in tapes. You're Jamal's friend. You gotta get away from these two losers, man.
Also, wait,
no. But you know what? That's very high school.
Yeah.
High school. Yeah. The side coding of that is that David was also my best friend.
Best friend.
No.
Yeah. It's okay. Wow. He lives in his mom's basement now, and here I am. So, wow.
Yo, I think they wrote a couple episodes of 30 Reasons Why about you guys.
Yeah,
tell them about your name.
The name.
Skin Deep.
Oh Lord, yeah. What's up? What about it?
Where did it come from? What's the back?
Exactly. How'd you choose it?
The origins.
Okay, so yeah, looks are only skin deep.
Oh,
that's
wait.
Fair.
Did I know that?
Did you say that?
I don't think I knew that.
By me calling you Osama Ir Laden?
Oh hell no. Oh no. Oh wait,
Osama
Ir Laden?
Hold on.
He tried to get
part of it.
It's part of it. Piercing, and he
the largest keloid you've ever seen.
Clot. So they came a keloid, so I called him Osama Ir Laden when I got to high school. When I got to his school,
because in high school I had like the biggest biggest keloid you can see. You can see it from down the street. You can see this keloid. It was wild. So like I legit, because thank you, Yannick, I had to get that off before CJEP because I was not going to Abbott with no kind of growth on my ear. Being called Osama Ir Laden. Dude, I'd be on the bus and dudes would like be looking at me from LaSalle. I know they're from LaSalle, staring at me, be like, hey, "Yo, man, look at his ear." And I'm just like, "I can't."
That's the thing. Nah, that's dope. Yeah, that's dope. So just wow, it's
looks
pretty cool.
Deep. Respect to it.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Thank you.
We have a long history.
All that to say, but that's the whole thing, right? When it comes to elementary school, when it comes to high school, when you're the new kid that shows up, there's always those moments of transition. So in my case, that's what happened on my side, and that's what led me to be who I was by grade 7, being like, oh, don't smoke weed, I'm not dating you. That's cool. Hey, what's up, miss, over here? And then I just moved on. And that was my attitude, even in grade 7. And I wasn't trying to be, it's not like I was the most confident person. I just also knew I don't have to try and impress this person. I can move like Skinny just said, looks really skin deep. That girl's beautiful, but she's also shallow and only wanted someone that was, I think, gonna hook her up with more weed is one of the aspects of that relationship that I
definitely think that was part of it.
Yeah. So because by the time I was in 8th grade, one of my closest friends was a dealer, and that was fine. And I never smoked, and
I think it was.
Yeah, we all had a friend that was a dealer, but like this was like my boy. Like him and I went to school together. We caught the bus together. We always hung out together, and I just people thought he was a nerd, but he was a nerd that was dealing on the side. It's just like that's no one's paying attention to the nerd that's dealing on the side. It was perfect for all of us. So
what I wish I did more of was nerd out more. Actually,
yeah.
The older I got, the more I'm like, oh man, I wish I actually did. There's certain things I always wanted to do. Like at one point, I wanted to make my own comic book. And it's like, why didn't I actually do that? Like. It was just one of those things, right? But it's just there are other things that seem more important at certain times, and you end up chasing college. College is a whole facet.
At that age, it was just girls. Probably.
Distractions. Let's put it that way. But and then it's like you're meeting different kinds of people. You're hanging out. They're college is a whole new friggin' ball game compared to high school, right? So, and I say college, but Cégep for those who are in Quebec.
Oh wow! Yes,
he's wearing his John Abbott
alumni over here. You went to Dr.
But like people playing dominoes in the hallways in Cégep, and I'm like, oh, what? You can just do that? You know what I mean? Like
Vanny. That sounds like Vanny.
Abbott too, man.
Yeah, Abbott too.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they all hated me.
Oh, I used to hang out over the spot that overlooks the pool at John Abbott, and that's where I learned how to play spades. That's why I learned how to play dominoes. Yeah, there's like a group. There's like all these black kids that used to hang out.
That entire group
I never went
hated me and my one friend there because they hated him the year before, and then I just got entrusted with his hate.
Oh, you were hated by proxy.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's another thing that happens. That's another thing that happened. It's funny though, because I went to Wager and spent most of my time at Wager feeling like I was never black enough to hang out with these kids, and that's just what it was. You know, even like hearing comments being like, "Oh, you know, he's not really one of us" and stuff like that because I didn't make the basketball team or I didn't do this. It's like, okay, whatever. But I just moved on. But when I got to Cégep, all these kids that were there that I had never really met, I never met because I was the only graduate from my high school to go to Abbott. They all saw me and they're just like, "Oh, who's this new random black kid?" And once again, I was a new kid. I was in liberal arts. I was the only black kid in liberal arts. And then I ended up talking to one of them and they're just like, "Oh, you're a nerd." And then next thing I knew, they're just like, "Yo, come hang out and play cards with us." And that's just how it was. Like someone was
cards
just
like D&D.
What years were you there?
No, they brought me in to play spades and stuff because I didn't know how to play spades. The next thing I was playing spades every day. I graduated high school in 2000, so Abbott 2001, 2, and then
I think I was at Abbott 2001.
I was only at Abbott
3 to 6.
3. Okay. There we go. So we were there the same.
Yeah, 3 to 6.
I feel like I ran into you in the hallways.
Okay, well then,
but we didn't really like hang out or anything. We just nods, whatever it was, right? I don't really remember.
A rap show from that time?
Oh boy, don't do it.
I host it? Because I worked at the radio station. This is a good chance.
So did I.
You worked at C-Sky?
I still have a C-Sky CD in my desk right in front of me.
Hilarious. Yes.
I kid you not.
I think I remember some shows like the comedy shows and stuff like that. So I definitely
hosted the Valentine's Day show, the dating show.
Was it in that? It was in the Agora, right?
Yeah.
Always in the Agora.
Because that's it. Because you were talking about high school and you said 2001, the towers had fallen. I was already in Cégep when that happened. I was there. I was at Abbott when they happened, and they had the Agora. They brought TVs to the Agora, the cafeteria, and the library, and so that students could watch and be informed about what was going on. All the classes ended up getting canceled. My dad called me freaking out, telling me to get home. I was just like, "Dad, I'm at Abbott. There's they're not going to attack John Abbott College. Just a heads up, you know."
It's the safest place in the world.
I know. Right I was just like, if ever there's a place that the terrorists are not coming, John Abbott College on the edge of the island of Montreal, we good. Don't worry.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
So, guys, we didn't talk about it, but I really wanted to talk about it real quick. We lost a legend. Speaking of that era of music and hip hop, DMX has passed, and I mean we heard about him having an unfortunate incident and ended up in the hospital. He was on life support. Then they took him off the machine. He was still breathing on his own. That was a good sign. Unfortunately, they said it didn't look good for him, like brain activity wise, but. You know, people were holding out hope. People were praying. There was a lot of hope that he could get through it. Unfortunately, he didn't. But as they say, he's in a better place. So I just wanted to say RIP to DMX and love to the family and condolences to the family because I'm sure they're going through a lot. There's a big family, a lot of love there. And no matter what you want to say about hip hop and the culture around it, there's a lot of people dealing with demons. And unfortunately, sometimes it gets the best of them. And DMX did. You can tell he worked at it. Like, we saw that he worked at it. We always saw like the he went into rehab. He did this, did that. He was constantly trying to work at it. So
yeah, sometimes those I call them demons, but I guess because I don't really have any words for it. But they get a little hard to fight sometimes, man. It's a tough battle. It's addiction, like all. And did you ever hear the story about like how he got hooked on drugs and it wasn't his fault? He got dosed pretty much. We were talking about that earlier, but yeah, he got dosed by someone in his, when he was younger, and it just kind of stuck, right? So it's unfortunate.
That story is more common than I think a lot of us are realizing. Like me, I'm not sure if Grizz is still in here watching right now, but we had a friend growing up, Lance, who like similar Lance McKeezy, a similar situation that happened to him, and he was never the same after that. I heard a lot of stories of people getting drugged.
It messes with you.
You don't expect it. You hear that, Merc, with a mouth?
Yeah, I do. Of course. I was trying to be delightful about it. I don't have much to put in here. I mean, what are you gonna say?
On the DMX note, though, I think the
context for that, but yeah.
I think his verses was the best one. That I remember watching that live, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening right now. It was great to see like him and Snoop going back, and it was surreal almost. It was like his last parting gift, which is kind of shitty.
That's the beautiful thing. It feels like he got to do his last lap at least, which makes it.
Yes, I agree.
In his last lap, he even said, "If I drop dead, I've lived a good." It kind of makes it like.
Yeah, that's crazy. He said
this is the way that the world is supposed to go in some weird.
Drink Tramps is where he said it, right? Yeah, man. If you guys want to listen to that, I would say check out the DMX episode of Drink Champs. I think it was sometime in February, and it's true. Like the fact that he said that is kind of this. It's the same. That's one of the crazy things, man. You had Biggie talking about his death. You had Tupac talking. You had so many of these people talk about like, if I die tomorrow, at least I got to live live my life the way I wanted. And DMX similarly, like he acknowledged the fact that he'd gone through a lot, but he was happy with where he was, and it's still sad. But again, he's not in pain right now. So RIP to him, man. I know. Sorry, I apologize that was on a sadder note, but I felt like we had to pay respects to the legend because, I think, like we were talking about all that nostalgia, high school Sejab, and that was the exact time when this motherfucker went double platinum, went platinum twice in a year. When other people say double platinum, they mean one album. He's talking about 2 albums. The only reason his first album probably didn't go double platinum, even though it probably did later on at the same time, is because he had a second album out competing with his first.
He should have just waited a few months.
No one does that right now.
That's pretty crazy.
No one would tell you to do that. They'd all be like, "Don't fight against your own album." And DMX was just like, "Fuck that."
And albums aren't really.
He was a trailblazer, though, right? Like he did his. He's one of those people that's the definition of he did his own thing when he wanted. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facts.
He did it his way.
Yep.
He did it his way. I have something here that you guys might find comedic value in. So after watching last week's episode, I took notes on a few things here. My notes.
I do enjoy that someone comes in with notes, but yes, hit it.
Why not? So on Akeem's statement about Vancouver being better than everywhere and why there aren't more Black people there, 100% rate that. Side note, be screwface about him saying that it was Hollywood North was seen and is not valid. You need to get further. Just saying, calling you out. Vancouver is better than Toronto. I live now in all three in the MTV, and Vancouver is definitely better. Definitely.
I trust me. I believe that 100%. Nicer. It's nicer out there too, man.
Yes, it is. That actually covers my next 3 check off lines all in all.
If you guys are listening to this, Yannick full on has a list in front of him, like an actual list.
And it's double sided.
Oh my god!
You did the work. You did the work.
Me? What did I say?
You keep saying 23 cups.
Oh yeah, 24.
You.
Yeah,
he made me doubt. I
expected you to say something because you seem like you actually watch hockey. What were you? You let him slide like 5 times.
Guys. Okay, I'll make this statement though. At the end of the day, no one has anywhere near as many cups, so it's not like I really fucked up that bad.
And by cups, it means Stanley Cups.
Yeah, but we're running away from a quarter century, so it matters.
Because I didn't remember that the early ones, some people don't like to count because it wasn't even the NHL yet, or what? like don't get me wrong.
You could say that about the NFL too, though. It's true.
They have 24, and I forgot, and that's fine. I was there in '93 for the riots. I saw my buddy came to school the next day with a gold chain. I know, I get it. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry.
You are forgiven. You are forgiven.
Onward, sir.
So the restaurant that Akeem was talking about in Vancouver, funny story, that's right across the street from my office, and I ate there twice a week. Now, the thing is, that doesn't mean that I rate the place. So there are there's three owners. Like, I actually know them now. They buy treats and treats for their staff meetings. I know the staff. Probably know the girl who he was referring to, which I sent the video to her to ask her if he's talking about her.
Oh my God, hilarious.
So there's
That's
two,
so good.
Two of the owners are Black. One of them is a dread from Toronto, from here, who moved out there to do business, and another guy is the actual head chef, who's from St. Kitts. When he's in the kitchen, the oxtail is proper. Nothing aside from that. Nothing else, and it is a fusion haven, which drives me nuts. But I give them the respect because they still feed me twice a week.
Yeah,
at a price. But he is right. The place is like I can't recommend that place to a Caribbean with any respect for my word. Yeah, I just can't.
No.
But I love the owners.
Yeah.
But that being said, me and the fiance are planning on opening a proper restaurant out there eventually. So we'll address that.
Dope.
So, what the Falcon is not better than WandaVision. Plain and simple.
Okay,
now,
wait.
Thanks.
Wait, no, not that. Do you have other stuff? Because we'll save that for when we get to Winter Falcon, because we're going to get to that right after.
Oh, the Winter Falcon?
Yeah, that works too.
Okay. I'll cut those
Winter
two next
Soldier,
ones off.
Falcon, Winter Soldier.
Cool. I'll save this for that also. And I've already started off by saying that I can't believe that I've slept on the podcast. It is a fun show.
Thank you, man.
We have a good time, man, and we have some nice
Indeed.
viewers who join in the conversation and just makes it that much better. So yeah, it's fun.
But I will save the rest.
Okay.
That's
I love
amazing.
it. We just want to remind everybody we're going to be going into View the Right Thing right after this, but we just want to remind you guys, make sure that this is the right after this. Cult MTL is open right now. Voting is open. So if you guys want to throw a vote to the best podcast, like you just heard Yannick say, in the city, Montreal, representing, cultmtl.com. Oh yeah, there we go. Vote at the bottom. Vote for Geektastic Sci-Fi, category number 23. You have to fill out a minimum of 25 categories, one vote per IP address. Make sure you go and do that right now if you guys haven't. If you have voted, tell a cousin, tell a sister, tell your mom, get everyone to vote, because there's a whole bunch of stuff out there. One of the things that I love about Cult MTL's list, when it comes out for the best of, it kind of gives you a checklist of the different things that you can go check out. Like, I have a friend who does like the number 5 every year. They just go through the list and go to the number 5 spot. I don't know why 5 was the thing they picked, but that's just what they do. So like, they'll go to like the number 5 for burgers, number 5 for fries. They just check it out and they just do their adventure. Because I think the idea was like 5 almost always changes, whereas like 1 and 2 sometimes never do. But that in itself is a fun experiment to do, and Cult MTL gives us that every year. So you guys,
I expect nothing but number 1, guys. At this point. I mean, we went 9, 9, and 3. So I think we should only go up from here. Now, I wouldn't be too disappointed if we go down, but I guys, I'm looking at you, the viewers, right now. Looking at all you.
See all y'all.
Better get your vote on.
And we appreciate all y'all, because that's the other thing. You guys come in here every week and jump in. And like Toby was saying, we have so much fun doing the show this way. Skinny was saying from jump, we got to start doing the live stream for the show. He said it from really early on. I was always reticent because I was just like, we're a podcast. It's kind of hard to set that up. But this has worked out great. StreamYard has given us the opportunity to do the show this way and to have live interactions with you guys, where we can even pop up the things that we're saying, like this, where I said Winter Falcon and Jay-grizz is laughing at me. And that's okay, because I said it and I acknowledge it, and I apologize to the fans out there that are probably just like, Brian's not a nerd.
I'm not sure anyone thought that. It was just funny that you said Winter Falcon. We know.
Shout outs to the people at Pretty Hard Cases who tweeted back at us after we posted the clip. That was pretty funny because we.
They did?
Yeah, they tweeted back at us.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, on Twitter. So shout outs to them because that was kind of a fun moment to see. Oh Lord, that was a pretty bad slip up. But hey,
if you guys want to know what we're talking about, every week or every episode, I try to compile a couple quick clips from the previous episode. And in last week's episode,
oh Lord,
Doc over here referred to his show.
Yeah, go watch the clip.
Go watch the clip.
Yeah,
it's on our YouTube page. It's called Pretty Hard. ...
That
one. like and subscribe, as they say.
Right.
Guys, view the right thing. I'm gonna go super quick on this. Jupiter's Legacy. I just got my copies back. Shout outs to Brandon because I'd lent Brandon for the longest time and he had them. I'm rereading them before the show drops in May. If you guys haven't heard, they're going to be dropping on Netflix. They have a pretty solid cast. I'm a little worried about what they're going to be doing because I'm rereading the comic and I saw that trailer and it looks like two completely different things. But fingers crossed, it could be really interesting. If you guys haven't had the chance to read it, you can get the full set, the 4 trade paperbacks right now online, or check them out at your local comic book shop. Try and get them to order them for you. If you're going to get the new Netflix editions, Netflix changed the order from the original release order. So book 1, 2, 3, and 4 is actually chronological order now. The original story was book what is now book 3. So if you get the Netflix editions, you're reading book 3, 1, 2, and then 4. That's my quick Jupiter's Legacy run for people if they didn't know. Because they decided they wanted to tell the story in chronological order. Even though the original comic book starts back in 1932 and explains how they got their powers. And then, that to me makes more sense than reading them as superheroes, then going back to explain how they got their powers, then going to their kids. But hey,
what type of story would you compare Jupiter's Legacy to, compared to like Invincible and The Boys? And
Jupiter's Legacy is 100% another version of Kingdom Come by Alex Ross. It's
sick.
It's the same in the same vein. Oh, what's up, Yannick?
What's Kingdom Come?
Oh, is that
all it is?
Okay. That's fair. Real quick for the nerds out there, Kingdom Come is the story. It's an Elseworld story in the DC Comics universe that was written. Alex Ross did the art. Did he also write it though?
I feel like
I think he wrote it with Mark. Somewhat. Yeah. It was a co-written thing. Yeah.
So Kingdom Come is this comic book that's about the superheroes' kids, essentially. So it's like, and it's the first time you start to see like Red Robin, Tim Drake as Red Robin, and the Flash has evolved into a god. Like you see all the superheroes down the road. Billy Batson actually grew up to look like Shazam. Lex Luthor has him like brainwashed. He's his bodyguard. There's like a whole bunch of stuff. Good. Yeah, Kingdom Come is awesome. Like if you haven't read Kingdom Come, by all means, it's the reason I got into comic books the second time. Like I would,
and I think it's got the best grouping of villains.
Oh, dude!
In my opinion, but
then Alex Ross went and did another one called Justice later on, which is essentially the Legion of Doom.
Wait, hold on.
You have Justice
right above me, actually.
Yeah, Justice is great. Justice is a really good read. So if you guys are looking for really good reads, and you're trying, if you're trying to figure out what Jupiter's Legacy is, DC's Elseworlds Kingdom Come is the DC version of the story. Mark Millar and Frank Quitely did Jupiter's Legacy, which is a similar spin on the story. It's the idea of like superheroes and having your kids take over your legacy.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kingdom Come gets a little crazy though. Magog gets interesting. Man, Kingdom Come's good. Real talk. If you guys are looking for a read, get Jupiter's Legacy, get Justice. Like these are solid reads that I would recommend to people.
Okay. Cool.
Those for the nerds. Now we can talk about the. Oh, sorry. Are we gonna do a quick touch on WrestleMania before Falcon Winter Soldier?
I will. I could do. You didn't like it?
What? Please.
The matches were better than last year's matches. Bro.
My team.
You go ahead. I will comment where I need to.
Okay. I'm going to make it short, though. Is that I thought overall the pacings were better. There were certain matches that did stick out. I liked the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn match. The women's title match that ended night one was really well done. The main reason why I wanted to give this a shout out is because So they had a match with Bad Bunny. So every year at WrestleMania, they try and do a celebrity thing, right? And this year it was a tag match against John Morrison and The Miz. I will say this. I've seen a lot of celebrity matches, including Jay Leno, Mark Malone, Dennis Rodman, David Arquette, Lawrence Taylor when he fought Bam Bam Bigelow. And this match was not bad at all for a guy who is a Puerto Rican rapper who has no athletic, I shouldn't say no athletic ability, but his job does not require any athleticism. He's a rapper, right?
He's a big time wrestling fan. But
he managed that match for 7 minutes straight without tagging in, which is unheard of for a celebrity. Like, for example, Drew Carey, when he was in a match, he was in the Royal Rumble and legit eliminated himself when he was like, got down to the ring. Two people who were in the ring eliminating themselves by accident. He's chilling. Kane's music comes on and he gets the fuck out of there. Like, legit just jumps the rope.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Bunny knew all the basic bumps, moves to take, and sold pretty well. The only thing that wasn't believable was the fact that he is a relatively skinny individual. So it's like when you see him fighting a big muscle guy, even if you're in a hold up, it's like, well, you winning that test of strength is a little unbelievable if you're this huge guy versus a skinny guy, not being rude.
No, please be rude. It's pretty funny. I like the approach. Don't change the approach.
Like, I'm not trying to insult the guy, but dude, you look like a toothpick in comparison to like this guy's super muscles. Like one arm is your waist. I don't want you to tell me, but other than that, he did a great job. Like his ability, considering that he was a rapper and what he did, is equivalent to what Lawrence Taylor did with Bam Bam Bigelow for several years.
You keep saying that because he was a rapper. What does that mean?
Because he had so every celebrity that's ever done a wrestling match, I don't know if you've noticed, suck.
Yeah.
The only one that's really an exception.
Bunny's a mark though, like a big time mark.
But the only other person who did a good match was like Lawrence Taylor back in like the 80s when he fought.
Oh, bro, come on. Give Steve-O some credit, man. He did a pretty good job.
No, Steve-O took a beating, but that's
he took a beating because he didn't know to stay down and not move. But he did all the moves well before that.
What about Stephen Amell?
Also, Umaga looked like he just wanted to beat the hell out of Steve-O anyway.
I thought Stephen Amell did relatively well, but he was like he was very limited, and even in his job being an Arrow where he's obviously jacked and knows how to do a certain degree of movement, this guy schools him who, again, like, for all you know, this guy practices backyard wrestling. I don't know.
He was on Raw for 3 months. I'm pretty sure he was training at some point.
Yeah, but still, 3 months to be pulled off that with the smoothness of the match. I'm just saying I was impressed.
Who was on Raw for 3 months?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny was making appearances on Raw. Never fighting.
What are you gonna do?
Let's clear this up. Never fighting. He was starting. Technically, he won a title for like a day, but that title doesn't mean shit. The 24/7 title.
He held the 24/7 title for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and he gave it back because he didn't want to be in a fight.
Wait.
He literally gave it back.
Bunny has been the WWE champion within the past time.
There's a title belt. So I don't know if you remember when we were younger, there was the hardcore title and they had the 24/7 rule where there was a belt called the 24/7 title. Same concept.
Gotcha.
So like one time when one guy won it, he fell down like happy or something, and he just pinned him right away. And like, oh, I didn't know it. Like ran out the building. Then 2 weeks later, he's like, take it, I don't want it. Legit what happened.
Okay.
That's shameful. Okay, but ultimately, Dave, you didn't really hate it, and Skinny, you didn't enjoy it, and the rest of us don't watch it. Okay, well, that's a good sign.
I have my reasons than last year.
I did. I don't know. I can't
Yannick,
watch.
Man, jump on in, man. Anytime you want to talk, you hit us.
We talk over each other all the time.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So I'm saying for the integrity of the audio quality, but fair. So when you said, I wasn't sure if you guys were all wrestling fans or not, so I was trying to respect the decorum. But when you said it's not believable for such a skinny man to lift this man, what is believable about any of this?
Oh no! See, I get in trouble every time I bring this up. They get mad at me, so I've stopped doing that. because we're not supposed to break kayfabe and or something, you know, even though Dave used a whole bunch of the words like, and you guys said mark and this, and I mean, those are literally circus words to reference to the people that are not real, but sure, we're the bad guys for pointing out that this is all fake. But anyway,
Brian, what are you doing, man?
Oh, sorry.
Wrestling is
Use
like
the F
God.
word.
You just have to believe it.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know
Oh my god, I can't believe you compared that.
I'm just not even touching that.
Before we're talking about not
I
having
am not
before marriage. This is what you're throwing down.
I am
not
religious.
religious for the
You
record.
can make jokes, guys. You guys.
No,
That's great. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's a wonderful piece of art.
The one
Yeah,
thing
it is. But we're getting angry messages from people listening, telling us to change topic.
I only
we got-
the bad bunny. That's it.
I'm messing with you.
I'd like to point out you're nobody until someone's angry with you. So we're obviously someone's upset. We're doing something right.
WrestleMania. I remember the last wrestling event I watched. I think maybe when The Rock came back like the first time after
No Way
going
Out 2002, we were there.
Huh?
No Way Out 2000 something, we were there. I was there. Sorry.
Oh, you mean live? Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, when The Rock came back, it was in Montreal.
That was it.
Stone Cold came back.
Yeah,
I think that might have been my last event also. So I think
it's a long time ago.
in Jamal, we're getting tickets from Harvey back then.
Damn.
With the hookup.
So we used to stake out around the building for the wrestling stars because my friends loved the shit. And we met Harvey Whippleman running errands, and we became friends with him, and we would call him at his home in Tennessee or Memphis, wherever it was.
Oh, Sam.
On a weekly or monthly basis, and he would send us tickets for the event. So we always had tickets.
What? That's sick.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty dope.
I might still be a fan if that was still happening for me.
Yeah. Yo, that's like me. I used to go to Toronto every year for Fan Expo. The reason I was going is because my homeboy worked for Via Rail and was giving me free first class tickets.
Like, why wouldn't you?
So I was just like, okay, all I got to find is a bed to sleep on. I'm good. I'll figure that out. So I just went every year. It was so good. It was perfect. We're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna do it. All you nerds out there have been asking. Some of you have been more upset than others. I'm talking to you, Jay-grizz.
I can't even see the comments.
Grizz wants to be on.
Grizz is out here saying I should be on the show and you guys should stop talking about wrestling. First of all, Grizz, if you want to be on the show, you're gonna have to talk about what the group's talking about. Case in point, the three of us up here have no clue anything about this wrestling that these two just watched. But we still talked about it.
There you go.
It's important to the team.
Exactly.
And this
FYI, I'm too up on him now. I'm just saying.
In appearances.
Oh man, shoot. Listen.
Who? So what's your record? Who's your top guest? Who's your?
Maybe Miriam.
Probably Miriam and
Michelle Franklin second.
Yeah, Miriam, Michelle Franklin, and who else?
Brandon,
maybe more than Michelle though.
Possibly, yeah.
And then Michelle.
He's not been here for stuff.
But Brandon was an OG host. Brandon was.
There you go. But I was gonna say, like, as actual guests,
yeah.
Usually we have, like, if someone's missing or there's only like two of us, we'll have someone on just to fill in the squad.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened in a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I would say.
So I'm like way off from the like peak of this thing.
You're
still a top guest.
There's you at 2. Who else is at 2? Probably.
Hold on. Yeah.
Drew.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I know who's not. Grizz.
Yeah, but listen.
Shots fired.
Oh man.
Grizz.
I'm so happy I'm not just Grizz's close friend right now.
Usually Grizz is usually the one
are gonna be had.
He's usually the one throwing shots at Skinny the whole show, right?
Fair.
It's only fair it goes back one way.
Isn't Grizz the one that told me I don't know anything about hip hop and I was a hip hop music director for 10 years?
Whoa, is Grizz the new Dan Harmon?
No.
You're taking licks, boy. Shite boy.
Listen, when I take my leave at some point, Grizz will easily take my seat at some point.
All right, there you go.
For reasons unknown, but yeah, Grizz will be.
Actually, you know what? I would like to propose to have us both on at the same time. I think it'll be a benefit to to your entire audience.
It's a whole different show. That'll be a mess. That is craziness. What do you mean?
Oh man. Well, we'll consider it, guys. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. Yeah.
Falcon, Winter Soldier, Winter Falcon.
Winter Falcon.
I like it. It's Winter Falcon from now on.
Okay, yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, Yannick, hit us with the list. WandaVision,
Right.
less than. Okay, hit us.
Well, Winter. Like, I feel like when they did WandaVision, well, you know what? I'm going to leave WandaVision because it needs its own speech from you. Straight up. It needs its own speech. They aren't even in the same category of discussion.
Thank you.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier. It feels like it was made for the order that things were supposed to come out in. One, which is very clear because it shouldn't follow anything.
Yeah.
Period. And two, like, I feel like with these stories, when they try to tell the American side of stories, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Universe are based in 1960s America. Plain and simple, unless they leave Earth and they make it a realm where we can enjoy not dealing with our realities. But when they come back to it, they feed us this 1960s story of America that my grandparents, my parents watched, I've watched, I'm getting tired of watching. Like, I don't need to make America screws over black people for 6 episodes of blah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying with it. Now,
wait, sorry. Repeat that. I missed that. Something about 6 episodes of blah.
6 episodes of blah. Mind you,
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
yes, but mind you, episode 4 was definitely better. Definitely was. It's picking up. It's picking up.
I'm with you on a lot of things, by the way. I think you could tell that from the last episode you listened to.
Yes.
I'll let you guys finish. Yeah.
Yes. And now to give WandaVision its true, proper homage and respect, it is the TV universe version of Black Panther. It's in its own box. You can't even put it with the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't think we'll ever see another WandaVision again, because that was just beauty. Every episode left you thinking, oh my God, I got to go watch reviews for the next week just to keep me sane until I get the next episode.
Yep. Thank
Falcon,
that is
Soldier,
the
whatever.
biggest.
Smallchin, whatever his name is.
Smallchin.
It's not doing it for me. It's just not. Mind you, I still enjoy it because we're spoiled. We're spoiled. It's all good still. But it's not.
I'll say this. I'll say one of the things that it makes me realize that I think we as a group aren't as interested in Falcon and Winter Soldier is the fact that we haven't been doing the reviews on Friday. And I think that's fair, because when we were watching WandaVision, we were more than happy to jump on at the end of an episode that day and be like, yo, we got to do a quick, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes
usually it's like hard to wrangle 2 of us at the same time, but every week we made sure 2 of us were there to review it because it was different. And like he said, it was a genius approach to a TV show. Probably one of the most ingenious innovations on a TV show this is a comic book. Guys, remember, this is a comic book show, and it has such like nuance and mystery and like something. It just drew you in. You know what I mean?
But you hit the nail on the head, though.
What's that? Sorry?
You hit the nail on the head there. It's the fact that WandaVision, when we were going into it, had mystery because we were wondering what it was going to do, whether or not it was going to connect to other things. Was it going to open doors? Whereas Falcon Winter Soldier, we know that it was going to be a show that is it has its feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to be like, there was going to be an overall mystery maybe, but it was always going to have its feet on the ground. You didn't have the potential that some random superhero is going to show up. You knew it was just going to be Falcon and Winter Soldier dealing with what's happening with Cap and how that's affecting society essentially, or the world.
It's a story we've seen before.
Exactly. And it's also something where technically it's an espionage story, in which case usually the payoff for those things are the end.
Yes.
Because it's usually people trying to fuck each other over and then someone coming out and being like, I've had the answer the whole time, blah. Which is not what we got with Wanda, right? There was so many more possibilities.
And every episode, even though it ended on a cliffhanger, felt complete. You know what I mean? It just felt like it was meant, you were meant to eat that exact meal in that exact time. And then you just but because it was so good and you got just the right amount, you wanted more of it. So you just couldn't wait till that next time. So you
like Loki's going to be like WandaVision.
Yes,
100%.
Loki's going to be like WandaVision. I agree.
Loki looks good. Loki looks like it's going to give you something where you're like, oh shit, what's next?
Yes.
Whereas with this, honestly, like, so the best scene for me, actually, there were so many best scenes in WandaVision, but the scene with both visions and they discuss the ship of Theseus.
Yeah.
That is the apex scene, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Touch it and go, boom. Now you're back, bitch. The apex scene of Falcon and Winter Soldier is this.
Oh my gosh. Zemo dance. You know what's messed up about that is I watch these episodes and I'm not paying that much attention. I missed that. So the next day I'm seeing like people posting pictures. I missed that scene. I was just watching, but it's weird. I'm like, it doesn't click.
But that's the thing. I think like we said with WandaVision and like we were saying with this show, one of the things that we recognize for Disney Plus is these shows aren't necessarily made for us as nerds, because Zemo dancing in a club is not something that we care about. Like I'm not here for
shit out of that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not here for the meme culture of these shows. I'm here for the story. Like if you're gonna show me Baron Zemo turning on people and like stabbing people in the back, like Dave said, espionage style, that's why I'm watching the show. I don't care that Baron Zemo is a millionaire who likes to dance like he's in a 1980s club.
There's a bunch of tryhards out there that try to make everything funny.
That shows you what it's like a bad movie that takes cuts like explosions to describe its movie. It's like explosion. That's what we have.
It still has that. It's still good because it has Marvel. It has a people at Marvel writing that you trust them, right? Even though it's not exactly living up to your expectations, you still trust the story to lead you somewhere. There's a point to it. But the overall story, though, I'm not really that invested in.
But again, one of the big things is we've been told and we're seeing is the episodes are supposed to be released together. I know they're splitting it out over the 6 weeks, but you can tell when you watch it. Episode 1, episode 2, that was one episode. One of the biggest comments everyone says is, why is the show called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but the Falcon and the Winter Soldier don't even meet in the first episode? That in of itself was an indication that episode doesn't make sense. Whereas if you watch the 2 episodes together, now you see like, oh, this is a cohesive story. Same thing with 3 and 4. When you watch 3 by itself, you're just like, okay. Then when you watch 4 and you're like, oh, 3 and 4 is one full episode. Like that's
very true that you point that out.
It's true. We were saying that from before. We said this is a 6-hour movie cut into
but now it feels more like it really should be a 3 episode mini series then, because I completely agree with Doc now that I'm thinking about it. Like even how the cut at the end of 2 and the end of 4 is definitive cuts.
Yes.
Always 1 and 3 did not have really, especially 3, but they did not have definitive, this is the end of this episode. It's almost like when you used to watch Batman back in the day and you had like the Adam West, and they'd have like the first episode and the second episode back to back, and you have like next bat time and all that stuff. You're supposed to have that now and play the next episode right away.
It was definitely not a good. It wasn't a good decision on their part, but I think because they had such gaps between releasing things, they made that decision. But
this is a gap effective release for sure, because it's not up to their normal part.
No.
Well, now that we're all
show though.
Like someone who likes because you could be a Marvel fan and not like, let's say, this is not going to be a popular comment, but like you could say, I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I liked Captain America movies. I like the Thors, but I didn't like the Iron Mans. I find if you like the Captain America movies, this really serviced those fans.
Yes.
There was only one Captain America movie.
I think Cap had the best trilogy. Honestly, I think it's because I can't stand.
That's because there was only one Captain America movie. The other two were Avengers movies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They were Bucky movies.
No debate about that. But title-wise, Cap had the best trilogy.
I'll say this, Toby.
Banger after banger after banger.
What Dave's saying is pretty popular these days. A lot of people are saying that Cap's trilogy is actually Bucky's trilogy, because Bucky is the centerpiece of Bucky's not the centerpiece of the first Captain America movie, but his death leads to him being the centerpiece of the Winter Soldier, and then the next Civil War, it starts off with him being accused and he's being hunted.
And who gets the TV show?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying.
I'm not buying
think
into
about
that
it
one,
long term. Like
they killed Cap, so they had to give somebody.
I'm not buying into that one. It's still,
Cap is a foundational. Him, Thor, like the original Avengers are foundational. They have to be done.
At the end of
but
it,
which character has had a movie to himself so far, or herself?
What do you mean? Like only
completely
absolutely
Iron
only
Man.
Yeah,
Iron Man. The first Iron Man.
Iron Man 100% was.
The Hulk is universal, but some people, I mean, depending on.
I mean, technically, Thor and
Spider-Man,
the Guardians 3 count.
Loki. Oh.
No, I think okay, so Iron Man still had help in the second one. And the third one.
Yes, are you you're counting anybody
who didn't show
exactly.
up?
Exactly.
Then technically it's only the Guardians of the Galaxy that had their movie because it's a team movie about everyone on the team.
Thor.
Well, Doctor Strange only had one, so we can't really.
I'm waiting for his second. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
And Thor in the third one he had Hulk.
I'm talking about the first.
Sorry, we're talking about individual movies.
I thought
individual.
Yeah. Okay, individually. Okay, then there's plenty. Definitely Thor 1 and 2.
Well, I mean, despite all that, I like the episode of Winter Soldier, Winter Falcon.
This last one?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was one of the better
Y'all
ones.
were going on. I was like,
great.
are we going to talk about the Dora Milaje? Like the fuck you
Well, you got to cut us off if you want to talk about that.
I'm
You're
trying.
talking about all this stuff, but the episode.
Carly is nice. I'm just saying. Carly is nice. I'm just saying, you know.
Carly.
She's all right.
Nice.
Carly's nice.
Yo,
So,
during that scene where she comes on, she's just standing there all thick. Like, yo. I'm just saying. Came out of
there's a lot of people out there saying Carly is potentially the new Killmonger based on her philosophy and her approach.
Well, okay, so that's one of the things that people have been talking about Marvel versus DC when it comes to the movies and the universes they're creating. Marvel is addressing the fact that the world is like your enemy is someone who is just doing the same thing you want to do, but in a very aggressive and potentially dangerous way, right? Like Killmonger was doing what Black Panther wanted to do, wanted to make a better world, but Killmonger wanted to make a better world through balance and revenge. Thanos wanted to make a better universe through balance. Who are some hell? Say who? Ultron. Yeah, Ultron was just like, to make the world better, I got to get rid of humans because you guys are the flaw in the system. Like Marvel keeps making this comment on humans are a flaw, humans are an issue. This is something we got to look at. DC, on the other hand, is just like, oh, here's this big ass monster who just wants to destroy everything, and let's throw that. Or here's my brother Orm who hates the land dwellers because they pollute the ocean, but he also just wants to flood everybody because he actually just hates everybody. It didn't even sound like he wanted to stop them because pollution was an issue. It just sounds like he hated humans. Like Orm doesn't sound like he likes humans,
DC can't get its back straight.
Yeah,
woman was fighting war.
Whatsoever. Like if you look at the recut of Justice League, actually it's in both cuts. Like the god of the ocean is going and throwing glass inside of it before he goes swimming and shooting his clothes off. Like
yes, that's a lot of people.
He breaks a bottle and then jumps in.
A lot of people brought that
up. It discredits their entire universe when they don't have respect for their own universes.
Yeah,
that's great.
Detail upon detail, where you're like, I gotta pay attention because they respect what they're showing me. These you're like, I don't even know what they're showing me. I'm just gonna keep watching.
Interesting. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't think DC has definitely figured that out in terms of villains. They're not grounding them in reality. But with Carly, I don't want to so I agree that she could potentially, because of her philosophy, be seen as a new Killmonger, but I don't want her to be like seen as that. Like you want her to be seen as her own thing, right? What's that? Flag Smasher. Although, I mean, come up with a better name, though.
Obviously, yes.
But I was saying, like when I was looking at it, I thought Killmonger and Thanos were doing the same thing, just in different ways. Like,
oh yeah,
That's the thing.
It's
Like
very
Thanos, because some people were saying Thanos was right.
Right
Thanos
in what way, though?
Because Thanos was saying we have the universe is not balanced. We have all these resources, and actually he was saying we don't have enough resources for the people we have. Technically we do, but we don't distribute them properly. But his comment was just like, in the universe, if I just snap and get rid of half, it's balanced. All these resources that you guys are hoarding, now it can actually be balanced. Like you can distribute these even more evenly, and everyone would be wealthy. I think his mentality was just like, no one should be poor. Everyone.
Do you think that's why he was such a hit?
Thanos?
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's why Thanos and Killmonger were such a hit. Were both hits
because deep down, everybody believes that what they're doing is true.
Right?
Listen. I'll ask you guys this. So, would you rather be Luke Skywalker or Darth Maul?
Darth Maul.
Maul all day.
But not because of anything. And I don't like Luke that much.
No, but
you already know.
Nobody likes the nice guy. But the truth is, your perspective on what is just a matter of where you sit in the story, because everybody's perspective is looking at the same point. The point is the issue, not the perspective. Mm-hmm. That's what is love. He's like, I don't give a shit how you see it. You got to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those who give truth, and the villains who give the most truth are the ones that are the most loved. Killmonger. Yeah. Carl, if you give truth, it doesn't matter who dislikes you. Straight up and fuck them.
When Carly was sitting across from Sam and having that conversation, and Sam is like, I understand what you're doing. I just don't like the way you're doing it. It's just like, I understand.
That's why he should be Cap.
Which he will be.
Yeah. He's going to be Cap. Because you can't kill someone with that vibranium shield and still be the representative.
Yeah. Wow. Are you going to do that?
Talk about that, though?
Can we talk about my boy getting killed by
I enjoyed that. I thought it was beauty. That.
Okay. Actually, rewind. Everyone's fighting.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a big fight scene with Winter Falcon.
Yep.
And what's his name? U.S. agent
and his friend
Lamar. Unfortunately, Battlestar. I think Battlestar. No powers.
Yeah.
Pretty much what I thought was going to happen to him in episode 2 happened to him in episode 4. Right. When they jumped on that, I was like, "You're fighting super soldiers. You don't have powers. What do you?" Anyway, now
you're not even carrying a vibranium shield. At least John Walker has a vibranium shield.
Right?
John Walker has a vibranium shield. Bucky has a vibranium arm and serum in his blood through his blood. And
Falcon has mad tech.
Falcon has
tech. You give a guy a nightstick. Nothing.
Poor Negro.
You gave this guy a gun and good teeth. Get the fuck out of here.
Crazy.
America, how it treats its blacks.
Seriously.
That's actually pretty damn crazy to think that he was allowed to go out there like that.
As the darkest man in the room, notice how dark Lamar is. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I love it though. That's perfect. It's good. It's good to have
all the shades of brown here.
Exactly.
We shift all the way through.
And Lamar got killed.
Man. But anyway, that Lamar's death was pretty much the impetus, the thing that makes.
But is he dead?
John Walker. Well, you don't think he's dead because they zoomed in on him and you expected him to breathe or something, right?
No, I don't think he's dead because it's Marvel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he could be paralyzed. Who knows?
They might find him, hit him up with some fucking juice or whatever. He becomes a new super soldier, and he comes back and he's like, John Hopkins is Bucky or whatever.
People are throwing around Deathlock.
Deathlock? That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be crazy. I hope they don't do it, but I've been hearing.
I don't think it's the best way to do it, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's a reach way to do it, man. I don't know.
John Walker couldn't share none of that with homie, like you selfish prick.
Conversation with him. My question to you is: do you think that he already took it at that point or not?
For sure.
Yes,
he did.
Dude, the first time he
looked it.
Yeah, the first time he threw that shield.
Yeah, their conversation happened before the shield throw.
Mm.
Oh, you're asking if he took it.
I'm talking about the conversation when he asked him. He's like, if because he asked that to two. Didn't he ask it to two people? Oh no, sorry.
No. It's a Black Star.
Winter Soldier talked to Zemo, who said Zemo said he couldn't.
My bad.
And then when Walker was talking,
sorry, real quick. I said Black Star. If if Mos Def, who has acting training, played Battlestar, I would have fucking loved that shit.
That would have been too much.
Mos Def as the sidekick. Oh my!
He should not be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It just doesn't sound or look right in my head.
Let's do this.
No, that wouldn't
Sorry,
be
Dave. You were saying before?
It's all good. No, just that when he was having the conversation with Lamar about whether or not he would take it, Lamar's answers, I was like debating. I'm like, did you already take it at this point? Are you trying to get validation with your?
I don't think he took it because they still got their ass whooped, right?
Wait,
yeah, that was right after. Like,
no,
their conversation was in between the last time they had a fight, and then when you see the fight where he throws the shield, and just how angry he was at the time. I'm like, I feel like he already took it and he was on edge,
probably
asking the question.
Can we just talk about the fact that he said they're not even super soldiers and shed a manly tear?
That was so good.
Yeah,
that's a white man. Listen,
that was crazy.
White man scoring is gonna thirst for power, and to be beaten by not even a woman, but the woman who chastises him the most, a black woman.
Yes.
Like, give me that shield. I was like,
deep.
It's like she watched the video. It's like she literally watched original Captain America do that. She's like, watch this. Hey, yo, watch this. That.
He got his ego completely sucked right out of his fucking gonads.
Straight up.
That man is taking that serum twice over.
I'm the captain now.
I am the captain now.
Yes.
That is my motto of 2020, actually. That was my motto of 2020.
That's
the episode title.
See this?
Dude, that was a great scene. The Dora Milaje ain't nothing to play with, bro.
Wow. Nope. So good. And they love how they reestablished that. Like how they won't let them flutter. It's just like, nah,
they are such coordinated warriors. It's insane.
She pinned his arm down with the shield still in the strap, bro. And
and the way she went all like kung fu at Bucky's arm. Yo, that was crazy.
That was brutal.
Gal Gadot. How did
that come from? I hate Gal Gadot. Wonder Woman
pisses me off sometimes because I would love to see a strong, like I'm all for strong women, but don't show me something that insults my intelligence and then make me the bad guy for saying, no, you look whack. Like I'm not afraid or feel safe by you. The Dora Milaje, yo, I would sleep like a baby with terry cloth blankets on with them.
Yeah, straight up.
But
you know what's funny about that is the rest of the Amazons though fight better than she does. Like they almost seem like they have better. I don't know. Anyway, it just comes across a little bit better.
She's such a flake. I'm not.
She's not that bad. Though. They made her look horrible in the latest Wonder Woman. She looked horrible. In the first one and in the Justice League,
we already gave that one too much time.
No offense, Dave. She's in love with some guy who can't even fly his plane, but she's supposed to be a warrior woman. Like, how are you attracted to such a weak man when you're supposed to be such a strong woman? It makes no sense. Like, Barack gets the shell.
The Dora Milaje don't need no man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no man.
Even that, and you know what? You could believe it. You could buy it.
Hey man, they obviously look like they dedicate their lives to training because of the way they move, and it was a thing of beauty to see. You realize Falcon and Bucky were both like, "I'm not doing. Are you what? You want me to stop? Are you kidding?"
They knew too.
They know. Yeah, that's respect right there. That's crazy. But yes. Anyway, our dear John Walker, we finally see his turn. Which honestly, like you said, if we had 3 episodes, we could have seen this build up and felt more in tune with it. It was almost like anticlimactic to me because you could see it coming. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when it finally did happen, it was kind of cool to see. And then seeing him rage out like Homelander was even cooler to see. Because I think at this point, like, where do you go from here? What do you think the next scene we're gonna see is?
He's either getting reprimanded or he's going buck wild against the Flag Smashers.
Do you think? Do you think he's going? He's not. There's no way he's going back.
It's one of two. He's either going rogue or he's going back and getting yelled at.
He's getting yelled at.
Yelled at by who? What do you mean?
He works for the U.S. government.
U.S. Captain America decides he'll not only beat up a guy, But kill a guy in public midday when everyone has cameras on you, and it was very obvious from jump that
was the best.
That was the best
scene. That was the best scene in the whole show so far.
I don't think. I think I understand. I know what you guys are saying. Like, if anything, he should be going on the run with how the story is written. But for the purposes of addressing that America made him Cap, they're going to do something where he's going to be reprimanded or spoken to, or they're going to try and clean it up or something.
You know, it's simple. This is what's going to happen next. He's going to go rogue, and then Bucky and Falcon are going to be contacted by the government and say, "Can you clean up our mess now?" And then when they do that, they're going to grab the shield from him, and that's when Falcon's going to be like, "Fine."
But
But
where does John Walker go from here? Is what I'm saying. Like before that even happens.
Rogue.
He's be floating around like White Vision.
Damn.
Running around like
because it's not like
a picture of Captain America and have the same conversation as the White Vision, as the Visions.
Oh gosh, it's not like they can actually like track him or anything if he goes on a run too, right? So,
well, they had what's his name's tech. Who's to say they didn't put a tracker in his helmet?
Oh man, you know, I don't know why I just thought of this randomly. I wish Taskmaster was already a part of this universe. Anyway, sorry.
Yes, agreed. That's one of the things. The movie was supposed to be out already. That's one of the problems with this whole situation, with them having to tell these stories in this order. We were supposed to already have seen Taskmaster. We were supposed to already see Black Widow and Yelena's Black Widow. Russian, what's his name? David's character from Stranger Things. David Arbor's character. Red Guardian, thank you. We were supposed to already see Red Guardian. So that's my problem, is that the pandemic kind of pushed things out of order, and now we're going to be waiting till July, right, to get that movie for Black Widow.
Yeah.
At which point, to be honest, I'm not as interested, because like Dave was saying before, if you're a Captain America fan, the espionage stuff is this line of films and shows. And if you had you given me Black Widow before, which you should have given me a while ago, but that's a whole other conversation. But if you give it to me before, I'd be super interested going into this show, because it feels like there could have been threads that connected to it. We could have maybe seen some influence of like the repatriation stuff that was going on and nods to that. And, you know, even just the idea of showing how refugees are treated in Russia with the Black Widow story, then carrying that over into this show. And then the line Carly says about how we're not refugees. What was not? It's Carly who says it. But who says we're not refugees? Oh, the teacher. We're not refugees because refugees are running from something. We were displaced.
Yeah.
That was a heavy statement.
Yeah,
like and a valid one.
Did the edibles kick in for any of you guys yet?
Not really. I mean, I guess
just asking in case people forgot.
Shameless plug once again. Get your Quebec specials. Un bleu nuit pour tout le monde, là, man.
I'll put it on the bottom here. Go to treatsandtreats.com, promo code GCFAM for 20% off.
I'm not sure if this can be seen, but underneath there's a little embossed writing. Can it be seen? It says high grade high.
Oh, it does?
Oh yeah, little special message inside there.
Oh, dope.
I love that everyone's checking their packages.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Skinny. Much appreciated.
That's awesome, man.
Invincible,
man. Hey, yo,
are we gonna talk? Have we all seen it?
Yeah.
Is it never not great? I don't know. I like every episode so far.
I don't know if I can watch a dude get his innards busted up every week like that.
Dude,
I can. Bring it all day.
Wait, hold on.
It's pretty violent.
Because Dan hasn't seen it. Invincible is a comic book that came out, written by Robert Kirkman, art by Ryan Otley, and Corey. I don't remember who the other guy is. It's a story. It originally was supposed to be kind of like a parody universe on commentary on superhero genres like DC and Marvel. When Kirkman started working on it, he was writing it, and he got invited by Image to help bolster their superhero universe, and then added Invincible and a whole bunch of other characters that are actually super interesting. Like, they have a really solid team of characters. And now,
so it's a universe based on 2 universes.
It's based on superhero universes, but it's not based on. It's a commentary on those universes. Like the lead character's name is Mark Grayson. That's based off of the fact Grayson Dick Grayson, and he even looks like Dick Grayson. Like he's drawn black hair, blue eyes.
The costume's pretty similar too.
He has brown eyes actually, but he looks like a young Bruce Wayne. The way Bruce Wayne is drawn a lot of the times. And then his dad, Omni-Man, looks like Superman with a mustache. You know, like Joss Whedon's Superman with a mustache. It's what it would have been if they hadn't taken the mustache off. But all this to say, it's a great comic book. I have all 3 compendiums. I actually just finished Compendium 2, so I'm at issue 96. I'm doing a reread right now. There's 144 issues in total for the full run, and it's completely done. So it's one of those things that if you jump in, you can read the whole thing. They're changing the show from the comic book in a few different ways that have been pretty interesting. But I'll tell you one thing. Who was it that said they don't want to see someone's innards get busted up every week? Okay, because I'm telling you right now, that happens multiple weeks. Like,
yeah, for sure.
It's the basis of the show. Like,
I know I'm down, but it's like,
if you look at the intro name, I mean,
I think the difference is people aren't used to seeing their heroes get so badly beaten.
Right? Like, I feel like they're going to die. Like,
I also don't think they're used to
a bunch of them did die.
Killed all the time.
That sounds like I actually don't watch like gangster movies or any of those. Well, every black movie that we're given is just us dying again. I don't watch those. I'm not gonna watch a comic to watch people look like they're about to die.
Yeah, at least it's animated.
It's animated, so it takes it
okay.
off. Yeah, it takes the edge off a bit. But
like real life, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
We probably should have clarified that for you earlier on.
You know, there's some pulled out intestines, and you're like, you don't want this.
Okay.
But hey, at least it's animated.
That would make me sick watching that on a weekly basis. I would question who I was after 3 weeks.
That's a valid point.
I was rooting, to be honest, I was rooting for Titan and their whole thing against Machine Head and that stuff. I was like, this is cool. But then when they started, the first go when they got batted up, I'm like, they're gonna make a swing back. And then when he was like, you guys are all dead, and then I'm like, okay, here he goes. And then he got batted up. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what being a hero would be like. I'm not.
You know what was crazier about that whole thing is that his dad was watching him get beat
up.
That
was a
dick.
Oh my god.
Yo, Yan, go watch this show.
Watch the show. Yeah. Smoke something nice and watch all 5 of them.
No, what is he smoking? He eats something nice, and then he watches the show.
Number 5, don't get high off your class.
There you go. There you go.
My second cookie. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cool. So you can get off your high.
I love it.
No, but for real, if you guys are looking for a fun show, if you're okay, because it's gory, but again, it's animated. So if you're able to watch Ren and Stimpy as a kid, you can watch this. Come on.
No. Guys,
Ren and Stimpy was gross.
Yeah.
And like a poop and pee joke humor.
I would
this is gory violence.
I would rather see it's like animated intestines than the super realistic poop jokes. You know when Ren and Stimpy used to go from the animated to the hyper realistic animated shots, and it was
like the pus and stuff.
The mucus.
I would rather see fake red squirts and something poorly drawn than
I'll remember that shit. Grizz, I know you're watching, and everybody who watches, I felt really bad for blacks. First of all, for the Guardians of the Globe, you guys take a second run and 2 people almost getting killed to be like, we should take this shit serious. Yeah. Number 1, Black Samson. Why do I have to feel bad for him every week?
That's Lamar. They put him at least he had a little bit more protection than Lamar did.
That's Lamar. He's like, first of all, this idiot. He's like, my armor's not functioning. Let me go run at an intergalactic beast head on. Yeah, I'll do that. That'll work.
What are you thinking?
Listen, Yannick, he broke the man's hand clear off the bone. Yeah. That's what I did.
Him also Aladdin because I'm that squeamish. I have no way to address.
It's
honestly, then you might not want to watch
the
this.
animation. It's some of the best animation I've seen in a very long time. It feels very grounded, even though you know it's fake and it's animated. It's very well
Here's a
drawn.
good way to equate its realness. If it was pornography, would it be arousing?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Then that's too gory.
I mean, it felt like a trick. It felt like a trick question because I'm like, what else am I supposed to answer to this? I like the show, so clearly, yes.
I was like, yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
That was
but it is. It would be.
His hand got broken clear off. He got his face smashed. Somehow he's alive. Listen, Monster Girl
with a smash face.
Oh, listen. People beyond smash faces, multiple smashed faces.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, Monster Girl felt. At least it didn't happen to her in smaller form.
And this is the stuff that I'm finding interesting because these fights and what's happening to these characters are things that happen in different ways in the comic book, and it's interesting to see how they're trying to get to these milestones when they quicker and different.
Do you think in the long run, because you know the story more than all of us here, do you think it's a good approach on their part based on the rest of the story that you know potentially they could tell?
Yes.
Or are they like putting the cart before the horse and they'll run out of things to do after 2 seasons?
No, I mean, there's so much stuff they have to get to. There's characters that I don't think they're going to do certain things. Like Angstrom Levy, for all of you who are watching this,
I read about him on Saturday. He's nuts.
Yeah. When he shows up, that story is going to get crazy. But I don't think they're going to hit the 2 parts of his story, because you have a first part of his story and you have a second part of his story. And I think they're going to probably merge those into one. I don't see them splitting it into the first initial interaction, which leads with the Molar twins working with him and multiple stuff, and then flipping it to that second half where he becomes crazy.
You think they're going to just switch from that into... Yeah. Doesn't it influence Invincible War?
He leads to, see, that's why I think his introduction is going to come later and is going to be more relevant, because if they introduce him that first time, there's stuff that happens, but I feel like that stuff can be skipped over and it can still happen in a different way, in a more natural way. Example, who Invincible starts to have relationships with, like romantic relationships with. But for other stuff that's down the road, I could see them using Angstrom Levy to do that stuff. And Angstrom's a super interesting character. That's another thing. There's a whole bunch of people online saying that, Kirkman doesn't really like to write black characters. And I'm like, you guys haven't read the comic book then. Because people who are complaining about the way Kirkman writes black characters don't know about Bulletproof, don't know about Black Samson's future story, don't know about Angstrom Levy. I mean, I'm hoping that the change up with Amber being black, I hope they change up the story that happens to her, because of some of her stuff that comes a little bit later is going to be touchy if they stick to the comic book, but it's going to be interesting. I know I probably just said a whole bunch of stuff that has you guys being like, what the hell are you talking about? Once again, we said it earlier. Read Kingdom Come, read Justice, read Jupiter's Legacy, and read Invincible if you can, because these are all TV shows and things that you guys are watching, and this is the source material, and it's really good. The source material is fun. So
exactly.
There you go.
Noted.
We got to get to Geek News and Rumors, because we gotta
2 minutes.
Geek News and Rumors, kids. Oh God. This first one makes my heart angry.
I'm
What?
I mean, Powerpuff Girls. That first look. The first look, people weren't happy. They're not happy.
You don't say, huh? You don't say.
I know.
Listen,
I know.
Whatever.
You're talking about those Ren and Skinny poop jokes.
Oh shit.
Damn. Throw that up.
Real quick, Skinny, that image you posted with the Mojo Jojo, right? That's his name?
I posted that.
Oh, sorry, Toby. But is that like white kid supposed to be playing? That's the white kid supposed to be playing him in the show. Okay.
That's what he's supposed to look like in the show?
What's that?
Is that what he's supposed to look like?
I don't know what he's supposed to look like, but they cast someone in the role, and that's who it was.
My thing is,
Yeah, sorry. Could I? I think it's Mojo Jojo's son.
Stop it. Done. Don't watch the show.
Resemblance is uncanny.
Okay, so guess what? Mojo Jojo got jealous. He made his own son, and he only made one. There you go. That's their story.
And he's probably gonna have powers, no?
Yep,
Oh,
of course.
Probably.
Oh, so he's like the Powerpuff dude, but evil. Fuck off.
Didn't the last cartoon have a Powerpuff character, another girl?
She was probably evil or some shit. I don't know.
Like the Green
I don't
Ranger.
know, but this is a show no one asked for, nobody wants, and if
Yeah,
it's good, I hope it's good.
If anything, people are asking you to stop.
Y'all would have done if you guys made a Dexter's Laboratory show. It would have been a better idea.
I would watch that.
I'd watch
Maybe
that.
more
Sticking around.
Woo!
Oh, shit, sticking around live action.
No.
You're wild.
Heck, I'd watch a Kim Possible live action before I watch a Powerpuff Girls live.
They made Kim Possible live action.
They did. It was
Oh,
bad.
they did?
Yeah. It was
Actually,
bad.
I think no, Akil doesn't follow you. So
Movie or TV show?
Beyonce.
TV movie.
Okay.
They did
Actually,
a lot.
you know what, I'm gonna
They did
find
a
it.
Nick Fury TV movie. Doesn't mean it was good.
No, it wasn't good. Warrior renewed for season 3, moving from Cinemax to HBO Max. People were really excited because when it got kind of pulled, there was this is the whole Bruce Lee series that he created that he wrote so long ago that they couldn't make at the time, and now they're making it. So people are pretty excited, but they were pretty sad that the show might have gotten canceled because Cinemax is shutting down. I don't even remember what the thing was with Cinemax, but from what I understand, something's happening over at Cinemax, and people are kind of concerned about where all the shows are going to go. Disney Plus news: She-Hulk starts production.
I'm actually curious to see where they go with that.
Our little lying princess is going to be on set pretending she's not She-Hulk or whatever she's doing this time.
I imagine that show will be like Law and Order with a touch of Daredevil.
Well, so She-Hulk is supposedly going to be, from what everyone's saying, the lawyer that takes on the major cases. Hey, you know what? She-Hulk defending John Walker? That's a theory. Everyone keeps saying there's supposed to be a big role. There you go.
Whoa.
That's a wild theory.
That's a good
Out
one.
there.
That's
So
a good. That's a good reach.
That's
within reaching
Mephisto.
distance.
For real.
Every time on WandaVision. Oscar Isaac has been training for Moon Knight. If you guys have seen the videos, it's been pretty crazy.
He is going to be Moon Knight?
He's doing.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait for the next
the
slate
training
of
video.
stuff. The next slate of movies, it's going to take Marvel into, like, right now I feel like we've been getting like 8-bit stories. Even though they've been great, they've exhausted the characters that we really know, and now we're going to get the really interesting characters that nobody talks about.
Yeah, Moon Knight is a wild character and has a crazy backstory. So I'm looking forward to that. Warner Brothers,
pretty dope.
Yeah. And he's been putting in the work. Like when you watch those videos, you could tell him in that video and Bob Odenkirk in the Nobody training video are two videos that really show you, like people sometimes they really do not hold back. They want to get into it, they'll get into it. So it's been pretty dope. Yep. Lucy Liu has joined WBDC news. Lucy Liu has joined the Shazam 2 cast as Calypso. She's going to be a villain. Sarah Sahi, who was announced in 2020 as joining the Black Adam cast, has implied she's going to be playing Adriana Tomaz, aka Isis, in the Black Adam film, which is I'm wondering if they're going to change the character's name because we all know what that name implies these days.
Man, anyway,
we'll see.
DC has lost me, man.
I'm looking forward to Black Adam because I feel like The Rock will do for DC what Robert Downey did for Iron Man. It's possible. Like he could be the new thing that really gives it respect. And he seems like a guy to be in control of his productions. I'm holding out hope for something that's interesting.
I agree with you. My issue with it is I don't like it being this character because Black Adam is not a good person. like at his core, as he's been written in the comic book, he is genuinely an evil, bad person. And recently in the comic book, they've worked at trying to redeem him. They've changed his story, and they've done that. And it feels like they're doing that specifically just so he can be a good guy when it comes to the movies.
But they're skipping a whole. You want to see the journey, right? You don't want to just see him get there. That's where I'm a little disappointed too.
Dude, I'm telling, he like kills people, does a whole bunch of, there's literally a comic book run called World War III where Black Adam is running around and the Justice Society of America is trying to stop him because he's gone full tilt crazy. And he's definitely one of those guys, but I will give you this, he is one of those villains that has a questionable thing because his whole thing is I am the regent of Kandar, right? Is where he's from.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is I'm here to protect Kandar. I don't give a fuck about anybody else. So I, in the same way that you were saying before, it's all about perspective. From his perspective, he's doing what he feels he needs to do for his people. And that's an interesting take. And I would have been okay with that. But them making Black Adam a hero to do that, I'm okay with him being a villain if he felt he was doing it for the right reason.
They might have already ruined it from the sounds of it with the story. This is why we come to the Geektastic Cypher.
But again, like you said, The Rock is a solid actor. He might be able to do what Downey did. Fingers crossed, because they do need that reboot because their universe.
But even if he does what Downey did, you can't. You could build a franchise around The Rock, but you can't build a universe around Black Adam.
Oh yeah, you can.
You can, but the problem is Black Adam set in the same universe as Shazam? Because if it is, then
he is though. Yeah.
Then
that's impossible. Then they have to fight. There's no them being together and not fighting.
Because at the end of Shazam's movie, there's the empty seat, and that's a reference to Black Adam because they have all the other colors. And he's the only color that's missing.
Yeah, I would have liked Shazam to be less comedic. And actually, if there was any show or movie I would have liked DC to make dark, it was Shazam.
I'm just glad
I didn't watch it because it looked like such a farce of my time.
It's okay. It's okay. It's an okay watch.
I hated it and I destroyed it on this show. So if you want to go back to that episode,
I don't want to hear it.
I'm so prejudiced, and I looked at that thing and I was like, "This looks like."
Yeah, I get why.
Doing it again.
I get why.
It look like mess. I couldn't do it. But I will try it. I will try it.
No, I'm not even saying to do it.
It's not bad. Okay.
I haven't watched it. You're not missing shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't look like it.
I'm just saying, Black Adam, you're never going to get a dark version of what you're expecting. So, because it's set in the same universe. Anyway, yeah.
Fun fact. While we're back in lockdown in Toronto again, I'm not going to complain because you guys in Montreal are the only place on earth that's a little bit worse than here. So,
always.
A little, trust me, a little. We started binge watching The Flash because we're homesick. Because it films literally, it does a circle around my entire office, and they film my building. So I decided we started watching it again. So it's just random, but I'm actually enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it.
Early seasons of the show weren't that bad. It's the later seasons.
Yeah, I'm at season 2.
Yeah, talk to me at season 5.
You got 3 more,
yeah, and then
and that's
I'm gonna save some time next week for that.
Dave, if you ever want anything beyond season 5 of a show we all stop watching, that's your guy. He goes down with every show.
This nigga watch Gotham. Nobody watched Gotham.
After 4 episodes, that thing's trash. What's her name took over the mountain? But fuck that show.
I'm playing.
You watched 2 things that qualify you exclusively within this panel to answer this question. Do you not believe that Jesperi looks like the Flash?
That who looks like the Flash?
TV show Barry.
Jesperi Kotkaniemi.
A hockey player?
A little bit. Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
Yeah.
What team is he on?
I appreciate the link, but it's far link. It took a second. Sorry, it took a second.
Oh,
to take the images and like bring them to my brain.
He looks like
like the minute I saw the show, I was like, it's Barry.
He looks like Grant Gustin.
Right,
yeah.
I don't know who this is.
Yes, Barry. He's a Canadian.
Because you're no longer a Habs fan, you
I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not a hockey fan as much these days, to be honest. But
well, we probably won't get a chance to discuss the trailers, but if you guys haven't had a chance, go check out the trailers for Jupiter's Legacy, Army of the Dead, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, and F9. Fast 9.
I just want to touch on one thing.
Yeah.
Flying cars. They
It's
finally
not a
did
flying car. Something catches the car.
It's a flying car.
It's not a fucking flying car.
They also
They
okay.
do
Well, did you watch
walk
it? Did
with
you
the
watch it
not
till the
dropping.
end? Did you watch it till the end? There's a rocket ship car thing.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
There's a
if
flying
they
car.
go to
There's a
space,
flying
if
car.
this was
They're
the
going to
video-
okay.
Oh,
So
God.
They are going to
Justin
space.
Lin actually concerted with scientists, like real rocket scientists, to figure out like how they can make it look believable, because they feel like after all the past nines, they've earned the right to go to space. So I think we're going to see them in space.
If you go to space, what are you going to do for 2 more movies? Go to the
Nothing.
fucking sun?
I told you,
They're going
they're
to Canada.
going to end.
The
They're
last
going to
movie's
end.
a multiverse. That's what's happening with this.
No, it's ending on Krypton, straight up. At this point.
Jesus Christ.
reverse Superman story.
Good Lord.
It just gets more and more ridiculous. Like Vin Diesel is brothers with John Cena.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Although I will.
Mind
give
you,
one
if there's
thing.
any
Kudos
white
to
guy who
John
could
Cena
look
for
like
making
Vin
it, man.
Diesel,
Yep.
I guess he just doesn't look anything like him. But hey, that's
but they
that's
both
the
have the same face where it's just like squished and fat features that don't belong on white faces.
Actually, they're probably adopted. We'll figure out the
No,
story.
you know what
I
it
don't-
is?
they're probably
One was
adopted.
fat as a kid, so he got so much fat on his face, and the other one was always skinny.
One got plastic surgery.
Guys, we gotta sign off. So we just want to remind you guys once again: vote Geektastic Cypher for best podcast, category 23 on Cult MTL's Best of Montreal list. You guys can head over to the website. It's cultmtl.com/vote best of MTL. We love the opportunity to represent the city as one of the best podcasts, if not the best. Number one, we're aiming for it.
Best.
So support. And then once again, we want to remind you guys, if you guys are watching this right now, or if you're listening to this right now, treatsandtreats.com, promo code G as in golf, C as in Charlie, F as in Foxtrot, A as in Alpha, M as in Mike. That's a GCFAM for 20% off. You can get yourself some Bleu Nuit. You can get yourself. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Look at this beauty right here. If
Break
you're
that
watching
open for me, Toby.
the Ferrero
Break
cup
that
right
open.
there.
Look
Look
at
at
Break
that.
that
Look
open
at
for
this thing.
please.
Break it. Let the people see inside. If you guys are listening to this, look at. Oh, my God.
There's a little Ferrero in the middle.
That looks good.
My goodness. My
If you guys are
goodness.
listening to this, make sure you go watch the YouTube, because you get to see these treats. You get to see Toby pop that one open and show us the deliciousness of Treats and Treats. Check them out. Once again, treatsandtreats.com, promo code GCFAM, GCFAM for 20% off. Guys, that's the whole show. Yannick, we want to thank you so much, man. This was a great conversation. We
Thank you for
appreciate
having me.
Hey, man. It's always a pleasure to have guests on the show, and the boys got to enjoy the edibles. And funny enough, we laughed a lot, but we didn't go off the rocker like some of the times we've done. But
I was this close a few times this episode. but I held it back. You started talking about some
conversation was
serious
so
stuff,
good.
and I tuned you out at some points. I
Tuned you out.
was surfing at some point.
I just want to mention Toby's better half has told him, don't you dare, because I'm pretty sure that was her treat that you just popped. And she's in the comments. So if you guys want to get in the comments next time, so you can see Toby's getting in trouble for eating these delicious treats. It just means you got to order more, folks. That's just
exactly.
you got to order for you and your
I'm
partner.
right up the street, Toby. I'm right up the street.
Order for me too.
20% off, Toby.
Yeah.
Trust me, I always recommend people, everyone, and nobody gets this 20% off. Only the GC fam.
Yeah.
And anybody else you refer, of course. Please refer your friends, refer your
man,
parents,
spread the word.
refer your cousins, refer your grandma. She might like it.
If anything, Grandma was
tell a
enjoying
friend
it.
to tell a friend.
There you go. That's what I always say. Guys, that's the whole show. This has been a blast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yannick, you're welcome back anytime, man.
Take care, guys. Thank you very much.
Peace, y'all. We're out.
I held the show down. You're welcome. Make
shame me.
Geektastic Grizz again.
Don't
Make Geektastic Grizz again. Let's
Don't
go.
make us make you Dan Harmon, brother.